sisters. مَا خَطْبُكُمَا, politely saying, summing it up, what is up with you? He sees the need, but he wanted to clarify. Because, brothers and sisters, his consciousness is with Allah Azza wa Jal. He's a man of chivalry. He wants to help. His interest is not in the woman. It's in doing what's right. And I wanted to pay attention to the two girls observing that behavior. مَا خَطْبُكُمَا, what's up with you? And I wanted to imagine his condition as he says them. He's not staring in their eyes, hey, what's up? No, brothers and sisters, wallah, you can imagine Musa humbly. He's tired, fatigued, not even looking at them, most likely, right? And just ask them, what's up? What do they answer? Hey, my name is Amina, this is Miriam, we come from this town, and our father's there, and we like to just chill in the desert, and we happen to be here, and these people are bad, and you know, want to grab a cup of tea, you look tired. None of this, brothers and sisters. They similarly answer succinctly. What do they say? قَالَتَ لَا نَسْقِي. They said, we cannot water our sheep, our flock. حَتَّى يُصْدِرَ الرِّعَاء. We cannot water our flock until these shepherds leave. You can see their condition. But look at how brief they are. And then they summarize the story. If you're wondering why, وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ, our father is an old man. Doesn't that answer the question? It summarizes it. Clear. Our father is an old man. We're helping him out. We cannot intermingle with the men. They're rowdy. They're insensitive. They're disrespectful. We're staying back until they're done. But they summarize this condition with, our father is an old man. Did he not grasp it? Did he need to inquire further what's going on? No, brothers and sisters. He got the message. And here is his chivalry moving, brothers and sisters. What does he do? Does he wait to say, hey, listen, I'm going to go help you out here. I'm going to watch what I'm going to do. No, brothers and sisters. He moves on his own. Penetrates the crowd, this crowd of rowdy men. Even when his weakness, having, traversed the desert, thirsty and hungry to do the right thing, penetrates the crowd. He was, after all, a what? You know about Musa? He just struck a man, he killed him. Strong man. Penetrates the crowd, makes room, right? Fetches the water and makes room for the flock of the two daughters to come so that they can water their flock in front of everybody else, and nobody can do a thing. فَسَقَى لَهُمَا. So he fulfilled the mission. He did the right thing. What does he do next? I want you to imagine from contemporary scenes what a man who just did this heroic act of, nobility would do. So probably would retreat back with them, say, that was, tell you, but I've been working out. I take care of these things all the time. I wanted just to be, nothing. I don't want anything from you. I know you're thankful, but let me know if you need anything else. No, brothers and sisters. Didn't have even further conversation with them. فَسَقَى لَهُمَا. What does he do next? Look at his heart and consciousness, brothers and sisters. It's with Allah Azza wa Jal. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ. Now I've helped them out for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. He retreats back in his fatigue, brothers and sisters, to the tree. To the tree. He has no shelter, no home. Nothing. No food, no drink. And then what did he do? ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ فَقَالَ. He said, what, brothers and sisters? He turns to Allah. His only shelter is Allah Azza wa Jalla. He recognized instantly, brothers and sisters, that even his act of deed and chivalry was from Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's an opportunity from Allah. How many of us will look at that opportunity as, it's from Allah Azza wa Jalla? I've just done a good deed, it's from Allah. I want to be thankful to Him. He goes to thank Allah, brothers and sisters. And he doesn't say, Ya Allah, I have no shelter, no wife, no food, and no drink. Please give me, see my condition. He just met two girls. Any man's thoughts where they would have been, subhanAllah, just help them out. Could this be the destiny? Maybe that's it. Juliet is one of them, and now she's going to come back and thank me for my heroism, and here I'm waiting under the tree. Right? Man's thoughts where they'll go? No, brothers and sisters, his thoughts went to Allah Azza wa Jal to plead with Allah. And the words that came out of his mouth, I want you to memorize them. And when you're in moments of desperation, thinking of all of your needs, needing a spouse, needing help with your parents, needing this or that, Similarly use it, brothers and sisters, from the bottom of your heart with trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. Oh my Lord. And I wanted to picture, brothers and sisters, wallahi, the pain in his heart and the honesty and the trust in Allah within his heart. Oh my Lord, I am so desperate for whatever good you bestow on me. He didn't even specify the good. I am yours. I am just poor and desperate for your help. That's it. That sincere dua, brothers and sisters, brought him what? Look at what it brought him later in the story. A job, shelter, and a wife. Do you think it just happened because of this dua, brothers and sisters? No. Brothers and sisters, this is a man who trusted on Allah, who turned to Allah, who relied on Allah, who demonstrated it in his life. Allah was there to help him out when he needed it. SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters. You do the right things in your life, you turn to Allah, Allah will never fail you. You beat around the bush, you become dishonest, you lie, you cheat, you put on a show for the others, the opposite sex. Allah will take you into routes that will drive you crazy and you'll end up losing. Look at the honesty and straightforwardness of this man, brothers and sisters. And his love of Allah Azza wa Jal and him seeking Allah Azza wa Jal. Look at the result. What happens next? He makes that dua and think of the longings of this man, brothers and sisters. He's longing, thinking. None of it is fulfilled. A shelter, a home, a spouse. I have nothing. But I turn to Allah. These two girls go back to their homes. To their home. To tell the story to their father. What do you think impressed them? What did they tell their father? Did they misrepresent the story? Oh, hey dad, we just saw, this man. He was really cute. We thought he was really cool man. He was strong. But perhaps there's something within their hearts that perhaps arose out of not necessarily being impressed with certain qualities, but perhaps being impressed with how he looked. Right? It could have just been appearance. Brothers and sisters, they told their father, Shu'aib, the story as it was. Truthfully. Here's a man who helped us out. We were tending to the sheep, we needed to water them. Here's a man who came with all these rowdy men in the middle, around the well, who helped us out, watered the flock for us, and we left. And he told them the story exactly as it happened. Not making up anything, not misrepresenting because of certain internal desires or whims that they might have had. What does the father do? He knows instantly that this is a good man. He sends back the daughter to say what? Grab him. Go back, invite him so that I can reward him for what he did. She comes back. How does she come back, brothers and sisters? فَجَاءَتْهُ عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ. She comes back modestly. Modestly, brothers and sisters. And I want you to think of her condition as well. She's not even looking at him straight. Here he is under the tree. And I want you to even imagine his condition. As he sees this young woman that he thought he'll never see again, coming back. And he's also modest. While he's sitting under the tree. And she says what? Again, briefly. My father invites you to reward you for what you did. I want you to just think, subhanAllah, of his heart. Thinking of the dua he just made. What could have crossed his thoughts and mind? Musa at the time. He comes up. And he walks with her by themselves, brothers and sisters, back to the home. What do you think his condition was? Brothers and sisters, imagine him walking with this girl. Did he look at her in the wrong way? Was he staring at her? Walking behind her, probably staring at her and admiring her and how she looked? Probably never looking at her. SubhanAllah. Lowering his gaze. Modestly. Protecting her honor. They arrive and he's given the assurance from the father after he tells him his story. The father says, don't worry. Don't worry. And again, I want you to think of Musa thinking of the fulfillment of his dua, that Allah, here he is, has given me shelter. He says to him, don't worry. You're here, you're safe. You're safe. You're away from these evil people that were going to kill you in Egypt. Brothers and sisters, so much to this story. We can spend hours talking about it. But I want you to think about this before we end the first khutbah. I want you to think of that girl. What earned her admiration of Musa? What earned her admiration of Musa? Think, brothers and sisters, as she observed him and his strength and chivalry at the scene of the well. Think of her as she walked back with him and she is looking at him and how he is protecting her honor and dignity. Amana, trust. And think of her as she tells the story to her father and of her aspirations and longings. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us among those who are righteous. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us among those who end up in marriages of bliss and tranquility. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, the girls, subhanallah, as she tells her father the story of Musa and she brings him back upon the request of her father, and we know what ensues afterwards. The father is so impressed with Musa. He says, I want to hire you. But how did he come to hire him? It was upon the request of his daughter. What did she say? Oh my father, employ him. Inna khayra man istajarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. The best of those that you hire are the strong and the trustworthy. These are her impressions. That's what I wanted to focus on, brothers and sisters. What earned her admiration of Musa is his strength, his trustworthiness, his dignity, his sense of responsibility. She knew this was a good man, and she wanted her father to keep him. SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters. That's an intelligent woman. That's a mature woman. That's a woman of intuition who knew what to look for. That man, brothers and sisters, the strong and the trustworthy, is a man who will end up taking care of her if he's her husband, wouldn't he? Think of how intelligent she is. She knew what to look for, brothers and sisters. And ultimately the father ends up proposing to him, telling him, I want to marry you, that daughter. In return for, essentially certain things. Agree to the terms. You have no dowry, it's okay. You work with me for 8 years. That's the payment of the dowry. I don't care about status. I don't care about dowry. I want a good man. And the daughter wanted a good man. A man of chivalry, brothers and sisters. A man who will honor and respect her just as he did before the marriage. Not a man who will complete me, my Romeo, who will be there for the rest of my life, who will be perfect. All these unrealistic things. She knew, brothers and sisters, what to look for. And indeed, he ends up being that man who honors and respects her after the marriage, who shares with her responsibility within the home, who will never abuse or oppress her, who will be grateful for her. What did he look for? What did Musa look for? Think about it, brothers and sisters. In those brief conversations and meetings, what do you think they've learned about each other? It is those impressions. He similarly saw a modest, dignified woman, respecting herself, strong, helping her father, not spoiled and thinking, hey, give me everything, I'm the best thing that has ever happened. None of this garbage. None of it. Right? Realistic, hard-working woman, dignified, self-respecting, modest. When he goes to the home, he finds what? A good father who respects his daughters. SubhanAllah, things that are missing sometimes within our homes. Daughters respecting their father. Mutual respect, composure within the home, consultation. Doesn't that impress him? He finds bliss in that. And he agrees. Not, long engagements, waiting for them to click. Endless engagements, years. I don't know what people look for sometimes, because we don't know what we're looking for, brothers and sisters. And look at the result. When people do things right. And look at marriages when people do things wrong. I want to conclude with a few thoughts, brothers and sisters. I want you to go back and look at that story and be honest with yourselves. Be honest with yourselves, because a lot of our imagination is taking us into disasters. Wallahi, brothers and sisters. We're not looking for the right reasons to marry, nor are we looking for the right spouses. For sisters, observe and look and search for that man who will take care of you, not the one who will dishonor you within your home, who will say the gentle and the kind word. And don't be fooled by somebody who will say them to you beforehand and he has no fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't attach yourself to these superficial considerations, status, of money, of all of these things, while you're missing on the core of the person. You need to make sure that that is a man of chivalry, who will not abuse you afterwards. For there are many men who abuse their wives. It's a sad, pathetic reality. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, men who abuse and oppress their women are not men. Not men. And it's so sad to see many men abusing and taking their heroism and applying it on their wives and spouses and children. Pathetic reality. And it's so rampant within the Muslim community.